So, hi guys, welcome to our first ever podcast called Focus Inspires. Hopefully, it'll be an opportunity to catch up with a Focus guest that is in some way connected to Focus Charity. We're going to see how what they've been doing, what they're up to, and hopefully have a little bit of fun on the way. So, over to you, Minda.
So today, this week, we're going to focus on the Happy Newspaper Project. We'll be speaking to someone that's actively involved, so a volunteer at Focus that's actively involved in this project. And in the weeks of kind of Focus projects going online, there's been a few mentions on our social media platforms about the Happy Newspaper Project. So we're just going to talk a little bit about that today. So I'll hand back to you, Darren.
Okay, so I'm Darren McWilliams, and
I'm Minda Bhamra.
And our guest today is
Nathan Kerrins.
Okay, so right, let's just jump straight into it. We're going to just go through a couple of questions. So, how are you getting on? How are you?
I'm good, very well. How are you?
You know what? Not too bad. Week 5, I think. So, yeah, getting by. Yeah. What have you been up to since lockdown? What's been going on with you? So that's about 4 weeks of 4 to 5 weeks.
Well, I've not been at work. We closed our work for the first initial 3-week period as well. So just been trying to keep myself busy at home somehow. Been with the housemates, have been, doing a lot of things together. Although they do their uni work in the day, we've been doing our things together as well, cooking dinner together, watching programs, doing kind of like games and stuff. And we try and separate the week from the weekend by doing something different on a Friday. So that kind of helps you to know kind of where you are in the week as well. Mm-hmm. And I've been using as much of the time that I would use at work as possible to do stuff for Focus for the Inspire project.
Okay, that's fantastic to hear. Minda, did you want to?
Yeah, so you mentioned Focus and the Inspire project. You kind of volunteer with Focus and with us on Inspire as well. Can you just kind of like, for the benefit of our listeners, some who may know you already and some who may not, can you just briefly take us up to how is it that you got involved, with Focus? Kind of, what do you do as a job? How did you get involved with Focus in the first place? And what did your volunteering with Focus look like before lockdown? Just take us like through your journey about when you started, what that looked like, and kind of, up to now.
Yeah, sure. Well, my job is, I've been in the print industry for maybe 15 years now. Currently making, not actually printing, but making tools for people to use for printing. And one of the things I used to do as part of socializing was, meeting with friends after work. Friends would bring other friends, and that was kind of how I met Minda, who couldn't help but tell me about Focus and Inspire. So went along, see what it was all about. Did the induction day kind of thing, and kind of from then on, I really kind of got into it and started to enjoy it. So I have volunteered on various projects, last of all Soapbox and whatnot, but I've always put most of my time into the Inspire project. It just appealed to me a little bit more, and probably kind of fell in with my schedule a little bit better as well initially. But it's something that's it kind of took me on a little bit. It was it just felt like a good thing to get involved, to put my time into, to helping these people kind of get into Focus and do the things that they're doing. Before the lockdown, I used to work my full-time job and go to Focus on a Monday night, a couple of hours, and every other Saturday for 2 to 4 hours. And that was it for your hands-on time, actually being there, delivering stuff with the young people. And then of course there'd be the odd bit of time spent in the evenings and on the weekends talking to young people about various different things as well. Since then, we've had a lockdown due to the current situation, and everything's gone online, which is quite a bit different, because everything's having to be done like this, every video, and messages a lot. But at the same time, because I'm not at work, I can actually put a bit more time into it, which is it helps me anyway, because I wouldn't have a lot to do if I wasn't doing it anyway. It's quite nice to actually be able to put more time into it and spending more time talking to some of the young people and helping get some of these projects kind of underway, and
Okay, brilliant.
Nice one. So you mentioned kind of you're doing, you've found things, you're doing stuff with the housemates that's keeping you busy, and kind of getting involved in volunteering extra with focus in a way that you're able to, because of not having your work commitments, is something that you're doing to keep busy. So are those things, is what you're doing in lockdown currently, kind of, the dinners with the housemates, doing stuff with focus, doing more with focus, and like the different things that you're doing, is that helping you?
Yeah, I think it definitely is, yeah, because they're still doing their regular work from home, they've still pretty much got their normal time schedule almost exact as what they would do when they're actually going to university. So it's kind of helping keep everything everything in line. So like dinner time would be at a time it would normally be at. It's keeping kind of sleeping schedules not exactly the same as what it was before, but it's not gone too far away from the normal day-to-day life, which is good, because when this lockdown inevitably finishes, you don't want it to be a bit of a shock to the system, like, oh, now I've got to start at 8 o'clock again, or whatever it is. And just in general, filling the time with doing these things for focus is it's just keeping like a bit of a routine. It's keeping you on that normal level that of reality that you would be at when you're at work. Giving you kind of things to do during the day, and then having your normal evening routine and your weekend as it would normally be.
Okay, brilliant. In terms of like, I mean, you briefly talked about it, but in terms of like alluding to probably what you enjoy most about volunteering, if you could just give us a snapshot of what you enjoyed the most, what you get out of it.
It's actually apart from the fact that you meet a lot of good people, and you make a lot of good friends as well, all like-minded people that are good people that want to help people out. It's seeing the development of the young people that attend Inspire and Focus, and knowing that you've been a part of that as well, and that the input that you give actually does help. So it's pretty much just that. Yeah,
I mean, that is just a very brief snapshot of probably the journey that you talk about. There's a lot that you could unpick from that, but without sort of without going into that too much. I mean, like some of the great stuff that's going on that we probably just mentioned at the top of the program, as it were, the Happy News paper. Wondered if you could like take us through sort of that in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, sure. So the Happy Newspaper is something that we've put together where people can share any kind of positive stories or things that they've been doing, and put them all together, and everyone else can see that as well, and hopefully feel a bit encouraged by that and feel a bit more uplifted, rather than seeing the normal day-to-day news, which a lot of it seems to be quite disheartening and a little bit negative at the moment. So it's basically a collection of good stories that we've been involved in ourselves, and it's a place where, you know, not just the young people, adults, volunteers, staff can all share the positive things that they've been doing, and everyone can kind of see that and just feel a little bit better about everything that's going on. So we started it 2 to 3 weeks ago. I think the first few weeks were, you know, setting up the whole process of doing everything online, which of course is completely new. And then we finally got this project up and running, I think about 3 weeks ago, roughly. At which point, one of the first things we started doing was we visited a care home before Christmas as part of our, you know, mental health well-being kind of project. And as care homes aren't allowed to have visitors at the moment, I think like a lot of the elderly people in there probably rely on that, and they're going to be missing like family and friends that would come to visit them. And also the people that work there, you know, they're putting themselves kind of at risk, and they're still doing a great job in going in and looking after these people, and inevitably spending a lot more time with them as well, because they don't get to see the people that they would normally see on visits. So what we're doing is we came up with the idea of sending letters to the residents and the staff, kind of, you know, letting them all know that they are thought about and people care about them and appreciate what they're doing. Let them know that we're kind of doing our part by staying home to keep everyone safe and to appreciate what they're doing as well. And, you know, thanking the staff for the work that they do. So at the beginning, we did have one young person who got involved straight away with it. Wrote a couple of letters, one to the staff, one to the residents, like immediately. And I think probably a week later, you know, people heard about that, people seen it, and we've had so many more people say, I want to do this. Not just young people, staff, volunteers. So since that's happened, you can see the effect it's had on other people as well. So that's a nice thing to do. I want to do that too. So the response to that initial person sending that message along, it's just been fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. Mindy, did you want to ask another question, or do you want me to move on? Or
no, sounds really great that that's, and you're kind of actively involved in that. So
yeah, well, you know, part of what we're doing is, you know, with the people that are involved, we're trying to, you know, make conversations with some of the young people and, you know, various people, and you know, just ask them about the days and what they've been doing during the lockdown, seeing if we can find the positive things that they're doing and encourage them to speak about them, and then we can kind of do it as like a little bit of an interview kind of process where we say, you know, tell me a little bit about these good things that you've been doing, and then we kind of, you know, write it down, take a few notes off that, and then we have 2 young people that have been happy to agree to, you know, being editors as well. So for the next few stories that we'll be doing, we'll be, you know, writing the story, getting all the good things that people have been doing, then the editors will come in and do their part of, you know, editing it and choosing the layout and how it all gets put together. So yeah, it's been a really good response, and I think it's given some of the other young people a little bit extra to do as well, to break up their week.
No, all of that sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Young people getting involved. You know, some of the young people actually inspiring adults. So that's what it's all about. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, without sort of breaking up and like talking about it in even more detail, sort of thing. There's some really good stuff going on, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. What Minda and I have now planned is to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
You know, you work with young people. You know, you're able to understand what's going on with these guys. You know, and really have a good relationship with these guys. So that's fantastic stuff. But how much do you know your young person talk, slang, etc.? How are you? Are you really down with the kids, as it were, as some old person might say?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's been a lot more slang terms come out since the last
yeah,
time.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm going to introduce what we're doing, as it were, sort of thing, get you prepared. Don't worry, I might look stupid in the process anyway. So we're all in it. We're all in it together, as it were. So I'm going to give you an example of slang, young people talk. Then maybe probably explain it, and then probably put it into context. And then we will ask you. We'll give you an example, and then you go through the same process of explaining it, putting it into context. Okay, so here's the first one. Wagwan. So that's the example that I'm going to give you, and that's another way of just saying what's up, hey, how's it going, sort of thing. I mean, the context is, I've already explained it there, as it were. So Nathan, do you understand what's going on?
I do.
We're gonna tell you what that word is. We're gonna say the word, and if you understand what it is, you're gonna define it. And if you really understand what it is, you can use it in a sentence, just to test your understanding and the level of understanding you've got around these words.
Can I just quickly interject, because I've just realised that something might happen here. So I provided the example. Minda's going to go through the other ones.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Here we go. Let's do this.
So the word shade.
Okay.
Do you know what that is? Can you use it in a sentence? Can you tell us what it means and use it appropriately?
I don't know if I can tell you exactly what it means, but I may have heard the term like, oh, throwing me some shade. But I don't exactly know what it means. Like, I don't know, throwing me some.
So you know how to use it?
I think so, yeah. It might be like attitude or something.
Is that good or bad?
No, like bad.
Okay.
My guy threw me some shade.
There you go.
There, well done. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Lit. Your second word is lit. What does that mean?
It means it's really good, right? It's on fire.
Oh, it's throwing its own examples in there now.
Yeah.
There you go. Stage 2.
Cool. So we'll move on. So it means good. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to the next one. What does salty mean?
Getting salty.
So that's okay. So that's your sentence.
Yeah. Like kind of getting mardy, you know, like getting salty about something that's happened.
Right.
Getting salty about you guys giving me this surprise quiz.
You might be a bit salty later. Okay, fine.
Okay. So now we're on the fourth one. Thirsty. What does it mean? How would you use it? Thirsty.
So if someone is thirsty, then I don't know. I mean, it's going to be kind of relative to what the actual word means anyway. They're going to be thirsty for something. I don't know, maybe another person. Thirsty for someone. I don't know.
I wish I had a buzzer sound, but I don't. It's when you are wanting someone's attention. So I don't know, Nathan uploaded 10 selfies in the space of an hour. Gosh, she's thirsty, kind of thing. Let's see if you can redeem yourself with the last one.
Right. It's got 3 out. Is that 3 out of 5? 3 out of 5
He's got
3 out
3
of 4
out
at the
of 5.
moment. Okay.
See myself. 3 out of 4 is not bad.
So let's see if you can get this last one. Boomer. What does that mean?
Have you come across that before, Nathan?
You know I have. I love that term. I think nowadays it's used as like a kind of an offence to basically anyone that's older than you. to say that they're old.
Okay, how would you use that in a sentence?
I don't know. Shut up, you boomer.
shut up, you boomer.
Someone says something you don't like or kind of offends you.
Right. Okay.
There you go. You know what? That's fantastic stuff there. You know, down with the kids and all that. That's 4 out of 5.
I wasn't too far away with thirsty, but it takes own.
There we go. Good stuff. Right. We're gonna wrap it up here. But thank you, Nathan, so much for joining us. Really appreciate some of the stuff that you're getting involved in, and inspiring some of those young people to get involved, and obviously vice versa. They're getting involved in helping you and all of us do some great stuff. So fantastic work, and really good to catch up with you. So thank you so much.
No problem at all. Thank you.